Full Heel Podcast coming at you back-to-back nights, talking wrestling once again. But joining me today, my buddy all the way from Michigan. What's going on, Jeff?
What's up, Rafa?
It's been a while.
It has been a while. It's good to be back on the Full Heel Podcast.
Yeah, brother. Been too long. My bad for not hitting you up.
That's all good, man.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Maybe we should do these more often. I'll hit you up more often.
Please do. You know I'm always down.
For sure. So what have you been up to? It's been a year since we've recorded, maybe. For either show.
It's been a few. It's been a year since we did the other show. It's probably been 6 months since I've been on with you. Me and you and Ryan did.
Oh yeah, we did a triple threat.
Yeah. But just fucking still working at the dispensary. Let's see. I think since I've been on, I got into a relationship. So I'm dating a young lady.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Who happens to be a stand-up comic. So that's been a lot of fun.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. She's cool. Her name is Kara. I enjoy her very much. So other than that, man, that's just life.
Yeah. Same over here. FHP knows what I've been up to, just working, podcasting, trying to be consistent. These guys helping me out with the Fight Companions. They've been pretty free because of COVID too, so as long as they're healthy, they're coming over.
Right, yeah. Been temp screening at the door before you let anybody in?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got thermometers and everything. My finger.
You got your little temp gun and scanning foreheads before they come in the door.
I do that at work though. I have to scan everyone at work. Frankie has to scan everyone at work. Toucan pretty much is quarantined at home. He doesn't do much, so I'm good on that front. Jesus, he's quarantined at home working, so I'm good on that front. The only one maybe Johnny I should probably be worried about. He'd probably ruin the whole situation and get everyone sick.
No, yeah, you don't need a fucking young Jamie situation. Have somebody fucking catch COVID.
Young Jamie too, yeah. Young Jamie's coming. He's been coming over recently. He's been coming to the pay-per-views.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him in a while either. He lives in Waukegan, towards your area, maybe, going towards Wisconsin.
Okay. I don't know.
Well, actually, you're Michigan.
I don't know. I'm in
sorry
Michigan.
to say it like that.
I was gonna say more towards byways like Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I remember going through Gary. Actually, the trip is a year. The 22nd.
Yeah.
This
month.
Yeah. Damn, a whole year.
Hell yeah! Since we had the rewrites up here for a show at Unruly.
Yeah.
It's been that was I think the last show I actually played because I had nothing booked before COVID hit, and I had some stuff booked for like spring and summer that all got canceled because of COVID. So, yeah, I haven't played a show in a year.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, man, it sucks bad. I miss it. I miss it a lot.
The rewrites are working on stuff. I know they've been practicing since they can't do shit either.
Right.
So
I mean, the whole entertainment industry just shut down. Luckily, I mean, like, fortunately for my girlfriend, like, they're able to do small open mic shows and things like that and socially distant stuff because it just is small crowds. But as far as like music and stuff, it's damn near impossible to get anything.
Hopefully this vaccine that they introduced.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with that. It'll, I mean, if it works, that'll be really helpful to whatever it takes to get things going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully I'm asymptomatic because I haven't gotten it. I don't want to get it, but this
I've been fortunate enough to avoid it as well.
Yeah. But like I was telling you earlier, this whole keto thing, I was looking it up. Everything I'm eating and putting into my body's kind of been helping me prevent getting sick. It builds my immunities. Broccoli, cauliflower, all the veggies, all the healthy proteins I'm eating.
Yeah.
So I kind of preemptively started doing it. And I don't know if it helped, but
hey, whatever.
It's fixed my back. I don't know if I've told you about that one. If anything, like the weight loss is awesome or whatever, and the healthy gut biome, but it's definitely helped with inflammation and those back pains I used to have, where fucking I used to be crippled for four
Yeah.
4 days. I used to be in crippling pain. Those have subsided. It's gone away. My back throughout the week is pretty much fine. It's just if I sleep on it wrong, I do kind of wake up a little like crooked, but nothing like
Sure.
nothing where I was fucked up. Like, ugh, those were some
That's
bad days.
that's great, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was due to inflammation and shit, and me just having a bad diet and pressure against the discs. I'm not a doctor.
I just play one on TV.
Yeah, I just play one on here. It was the
You still
Abdullah Blagata.
you still using the medicine ball?
Yeah, yeah,
Nice. Or not the medicine ball, but the yoga ball.
yeah. I switch on and off. Right now I'm not on it, but yeah, I switch on and off. It's right over there. Especially when these guys come
Oh
over
yeah.
and we're doing long ass shows.
Right.
That's usually what I'm on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else before we get into the pay-per-view, Jeff? Life's been kind of just at a standstill.
I mean, yeah, it's bad. There's not a whole lot to report on. It's just kind of at a standstill.
Yeah, except this whole political thing. You guys turned blue, right, this year? Michigan?
Yeah. Yep.
Michigan
Yeah.
turned blue. Wisconsin
Well.
turned blue.
Yep. We got Trump out of there.
Yep.
Thank God.
Trump's out. So.
Hooray.
Mhm.
We did it.
Hopefully the Dems keep up their part of the fucking agreement, but
Yeah. I don't know.
I guess that's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're here to talk wrestling.
Little wrestling.
Yeah. ECW to be more particular. So usually when I do ECW, I have the ECW expert just because you were the one that kind of grew up in the era of watching it. I caught the Saturday events, the Saturday hour events that they used to have where they showed like highlights and shit like that.
The old ECW TVs.
Yeah, the old ECW TVs. I actually want to go back and start watching ECW so I'm not as lost during these breakdowns, or maybe when we have watch-alongs, I'm not going to be so lost and I don't have to do as much research. What was their like TV deal or their like weekly running program? Do you know what it was called? Because they have them on here on the network.
It was just ECW TV back in like this time frame until they actually signed a TV deal with TNN there towards the end in like 99 into 2000 before the shutdown, and then it went to like ECW on TNN. But yeah, it was just ECW Hardcore TV was what it was called, the syndicated show.
Did they have a TV deal before? I don't know if you would know this or not. Before Shane threw the belt, the franchise threw the belt on the floor and turned it and they went hardcore pretty much. No, they didn't have a TV deal.
Realistically, they didn't have a TV deal until the end there when they were with TNN. They had like a small local TV deal with the New York and the Philly East Coast areas, and then it was just like a syndication thing that I don't even know if they got any kind of revenue from it or not.
And that's what caught the attention of the NWA, right? Caught the attention of them, and they're like, let's hold a tournament with Eastern Championship Wrestling. And these guys are like, we're going to hit him with a swerve. Swerved them, threw the belt on the floor. And this was 94, so this is just a year, like pretty much a year before this, that they changed it to Extreme Championship Wrestling. But they were already doing hardcore. It's just
sure, yeah.
The name wasn't there.
The Public Enemy was around putting people through tables. Sabu was in the organization, being crazy. You know, the beginnings of people getting to know Sabu and stuff like that. There was elements of hardcore, but yeah, once Shane threw down the belt and they became Extreme Championship Wrestling, that's when the rocket ship took off.
So Sabu actually comes back at this pay-per-view, right? So I don't know how long he had been gone, but they were
a few months, I think. I think he no-showed. He no-showed an event for them to go to Japan. Paulie fired him, and then there was this whole time of like him not being around, and then the fans wanting him to come back, and them not being able to work anything out, and then he shows up as a surprise guest at the pay-per-view.
They turn out the lights and they bring on, but that's after the first match. I guess let's get right into it. And maybe we'll do some watch-alongs later on when we go on. But like I said, I need to start watching some of their TV so I get more familiar with the earlier characters.
Build up the storylines and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the first match, we have Donnie Allen taking on the Broad Street Bully. This goes to a no contest when we have Bubba Ray Dudley. This is where I was a little bit confused just looking at it by titles and just names, because Bully, the Broad Street Bully, and I guess later on, Bubba Ray becomes the Bully.
Bully.
Yeah, Bully Ray. Yeah. So I was like,
yeah.
It's you have to see the face, I guess, to put the name on there instead of just reading it out. That's why I like watching these, and then because I went through this twice just so I could try to get a little bit more familiar with it.
Right. Yeah, and this is like the early onset of Bubba coming in, where he's still the stutterer, and Devon isn't in the organization yet. It's the Dudleys existed for a while, the Dudley family, before Bubba and Devon came in and everything like that.
Yeah.
When they brought Bubba in, he was kind of a sympathetic. The crowd feels bad for him because of the stutter. They make fun of him, but Big Dick's always bullying him and everything like that. So he's kind of that sympathetic heel at this point.
Yeah, and they had all the other Dudleys come out too, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Devon wasn't a part of it because there's been a bunch of Dudleys. They actually had, like you mentioned, Big Dick. They had Chubby Dudley, Sign Guy Dudley.
Sign Guy.
So was
Dances with Dudleys.
Yeah, Dances with Dudleys. Was Sign Guy Dudley derived from the Sign Guy? Because they have a sign. There's a sign guy in the crowd that says, "This is the original Sign Guy," or something like that. I forgot exactly what it said.
I don't remember if that's where Sign Guy Dudley came from. I'm assuming, because like a lot of the front row ECW fans that always sat ringside were the same guys week in and week out. You had Straw Hat Guy, Sign Guy. There was the dude with the black hair and the sunglasses. Used to see him a lot at New York WWE shows too, back in the day, especially like old Raws at the Manhattan Center and stuff like that, where the ECW original fans that were always in the same spot. So yeah, it probably was a little tip of the cap to Sign Guy.
Not divert, but did you see like this 2020's hardcore wrestling and how crazy and what extent they have to go to, where they have to fucking break their own limbs to try to get the crowd to watch them?
Yeah.
Did you see that guy with the NWO song?
Yeah, the guy that jumped off the fucking ropes
that's extreme, dude. That was fucking crazy.
Oh my god, dude! like the first time I saw it, I had like that initial shock, but after seeing Anderson Silva snap his leg live, and growing up as a kid and seeing, I was like, I don't know, 6 years old when Lawrence Taylor snapped Joe Theismann's leg. You know what I mean? Like, leg breaks, I'm deconditioned to it. It doesn't like fuck me up like it does other people. So after the first time in the initial shock, I fucking was pissing myself laughing, watching that video on a loop. Every time that guy's legs just go fucking sideways and he crickets out.
Yeah. So I broke my tibia fibia. So when I see that, you know how when ice scrapes or you like the nail, it kind of gives me that like a little bit like because I broke my leg. So I'm like I know that pain. But it went away after the first couple times of seeing it, because I'm like, it's his fault 100%. If he wants to be a wrestler, how about take some lessons, build some muscle? Because his legs were twigs. There was no muscle.
Oh, they were right. So he was a big guy with tiny little twig legs.
And I say this because I got to the size that I am because I used to watch wrestling and I used to lift weights while watching wrestling because I wanted to be as big as these motherfuckers. So I used to just fucking stand in front of the TV, fucking pumping iron and shit. And this motherfucker comes out with twigs, trying to jump off the second rope and stomp on the mat, and clack, his knees just explode like.
Both knees explode.
Do you know what it reminded me of? The South Park episode where Kyle's knees blow out because there were testicles.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were Mr. Garrison's testicles, and they just...
Yeah.
It reminded me of
Yeah.
something similar to that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's pretty extreme nowadays. I don't know if that's what they're going
Yeah.
for, but
Well, you know, now that Danny Havoc retired, somebody's got to take up the mantle as most extreme wrestler.
yeah, yeah. But in all seriousness, I hope that guy gets better. I heard the breaks were really, really bad, and he's probably just like unhealthy.
I hope that guy retires. Like,
Yeah.
okay, bro, you're done.
Mm-hmm. I hope he gets better and like he's not completely fucked for life because it looked
Sure.
his
He's
legs look
probably
like
going to walk with a
linguine.
limp.
Yeah.
He's going to walk with a weird limp the rest of his life.
Oh yeah. I hope he
I mean, I don't want that for him, but the sad fact and the reality
to be
of the
honest, that's probably the best situation he's gonna have if he can come out with a limp. Dude, his legs were like this, like he held his leg up like because I did too. Like when I broke my leg, I lifted my leg up and it was broken. So it, his did that too, but at the knees they went like,
and his foot was just dangling.
Yeah.
I'm picturing it in my brain as we're talking about it, dude.
That guy wanted. He's like, I'm so cool. Look at this.
Dude, I saw it. I was at work when I saw it, so I was showing people at work and watching these motherfuckers just like run away from me and shit.
All right, so back to the card real quick. Yeah, so it's supposed to be Donnie Allen versus the Broad Street Bully, but
it's ECW.
Yeah,
matches don't matter.
Yeah, they even have it listed as a match, but it's not a match.
No, it just ends up being the Dudleys kicking the shit out of both of them.
So Bubba power bombs Donnie Allen, but the one that really caught my attention was the one that he hit on the Broad Street Bully.
On the Broad Street, yeah.
Yeah, he got him pretty high up on the shoulder, kind of folded him a little bit awkward. I didn't like it. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it was a bad landing. I couldn't tell if it was Bubba on the lift or if it was Broad Street Bully. Like, but he landed bad. I noticed it too.
Yeah, that wasn't flat on the back. That took a lot of impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bubba just winds up beating the shit out of both of them, and they leave. That was it. A little bit for the crowd, playing to the crowd. And then, I guess, in the next, it's not even a real match. It's Conan taking on Jason Knight.
Yeah. This is when they had first been bringing in Conan, and he started bringing around some of the luchadors and stuff with him.
Yeah. So we'll see a badass luchador match later on.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, ECW was the original to bringing in the Mexican luchadors, which caught the eye of WCW, and eventually they'll start bringing them in because Eric Bischoff isn't that much of a fan of the luchadors. He just saw that they drew money and he could use them for something. So he's like, fuck
they
it.
They were getting big. They were getting big and putting on really good matches in ECW. So
and WWF is there to follow suit. They start their lightweight division.
Yep.
At that time, and put it on Taka Michinoku. So
who also was in ECW for a while.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. This is actually awesome to go back and see. If you guys are Conan fans, because I've been wanting to get into more and more Mexican wrestling. Conan was pretty much their Hulk Hogan, and you can you can see him here with his mask and how fucking jacked he is. He is ripped.
Yeah, dude. Conan was always somebody I wish got a better push in WCW too, because I always enjoyed Conan matches. He was for the size that he was as a luchador, he could perform, and he put out, he was wrestling with the mid-tier heavyweight guys and putting on really good matches.
I guess compared to like compared to like the I guess the big guys, he's small, but compared to luchadors, he's gigantic. I guess he's just in the mid.
Yeah,
and maybe that's what kind of kept him from not making it to the top at WCW. But it's awesome that he was a transitionary in between the luchadors to WCW to get them on TV, to get people like me to notice them in a video game and be like, that guy looks like Spider-Man, I'm gonna pick him. And then when you see him on TV, you're like, oh, that's Rey Mysterio Jr. Holy shit. That's the guy I pick on fucking video games that's not in the WWF. Because WWF was a lot more fucking available at
Yeah.
that time. But it's crazy to see that fucking Rey Mysterio started here too. And we'll get into Rey Mysterio a little bit later on.
Part of the reason I picked this card.
Awesome. So yeah, I wish we could talk more about this match. Just it was a 14-second match. Jason Knight comes out super cocky, and it's kind of more just an introduction to Taz being an official today. He's not necessarily just the official of this match, but he's an official. He's there to do business, and he's there to assert his dominance. Pretty much, that's the promo he cuts.
Yeah, Taz has been on the shelf with an injury for a while now. He's still waiting to come back from his broken neck that he suffered at the hands of Chris Benoit, I believe. If I remember right, it was Chris Benoit who pile drived him and broke his neck in a tag team match.
Austin situation? Like same head was
not similar. Yeah, similar. Not the same pile driver that Austin got hit with Owen. I think it was actually a spiked pile driver off the second rope or something, but I want to say it was Chris Benoit that did it. I think he also broke Taz's or Sabu's neck.
No Chris Benoit here. He was probably already in WCW.
At that point in 95, maybe he's already gone to WCW by then. I think you're right. I think he is gone to WCW by then.
November 1995. Let's see what pay-per-view they would have put on. World War III, 1995. This is where the Giant wins?
Yeah, if he's probably there with the Horsemen at this point.
Okay, he's taking on. Yeah, he's there. He's taking on Kensuke Sasaki. Yeah, there we go. For the United States Championship. Holy shit, he's already over there with that.
Yeah, I think that might be. He might already be in the Horsemen by now.
Whoa. What would you put him in top 3 renditions of the Horsemen?
Benoit?
Yeah.
No. Maybe number 3. Let's see.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm like, is he gonna round off for 3? Because I know you have Ole, the Ole rendition, and then
you got
Wyndham,
the Barry,
right?
Yeah. Well, I used to be more for the original with Ole, but I think now I've flipped it to the Barry Horseman as one and the Ole, just because of what as a competitor Barry I think did more than Ole. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Ole was a lot older at that point. Barry was, when he joined in, was young, fresh, kicking ass, solid worker, and they were all holding titles. But yeah, either one, the original Horseman and Barry 1, 2. And then I guess I could probably go with the Benoit. I would go Benoit Malenko as 3, more so than like Benoit and Mongo.
Yeah, I wasn't a Mongo fan, even though he was a football player.
No.
Wrestling wise, I wasn't a fan.
No, I never really was a Mongo fan.
He was on the Bears, but still, I'm like, he just didn't belong for me as a kid.
Yeah, for sure. And neither did Lex Luger or Paul Roma or Sid. None of those guys should have been Horsemen.
I like the whole swerves on Sting; those were awesome. How he would join and they would swerve because he didn't want to drop the number 1 contendership to Flair, or they would just fucking swerve him for no reason because they were befriending him, and then they fucking formed the Horseman on his ass.
Poor Sting.
Yeah, but you need a baby face. You need someone to try to climb for the title all the time.
That's right.
It was the Icon. Did you hear rumors that he was going to come out for Darby Allin?
I had heard that,
but we got Gangrel instead.
Yes, we did. Did you watch Full Gear?
No, I saw the breakdown of it. I was watching the fights instead. and I watched the breakdown of it. Did you
Very good pay per view.
you saw Full Gear? Yeah, I've heard a lot of
I
good
did.
things about it. A lot of
I
good things
did. I
about it.
mean, Hangman and Omega in the opening match was amazing.
Damn, they fucking started off with
And
that badass match.
yeah, they came out the gate swinging with that badass match. And then I think, did they go? No. So yeah, it was that, and then I think Orange Cassidy and John Silver were the next one, and then it went right to the TNT title. They had that first title match early.
I didn't think they were gonna put it on him on Darby
I didn't
Allin.
either. I was surprised by that. That caught me off guard, especially the fact that Cody just won the belt back a few weeks ago, but keeps it fresh.
Mm-hmm. Do you like the fact that he won his name back?
I did, and that actually I kind of popped for that moment because like it had been pretty hush hush, and then Justin Roberts was going through doing his normal intro for Cody, and you're waiting for that big long Cody, and he just hits you with a short Cody and then busts out a long ass Rhodes, and I popped. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I thought you'd be happy because I think what happened was I think they both came to agreement. These guys would stop going for WCW named themed pay-per-views, and he could have his name back. Because I think they changed the Bash at the Beach to I forgot what it was. But I think they're changing Bash at the Beach and maybe giving it back to WWE. I don't know. But I'm hoping they came to some kind of agreement, or WWE is just like, fuck it, you can have your name. But Cody's.
I thought the WWE's fucking rights on it just ran out and they finally got it back or whatever. I don't know. But Cody's got it back. That's all I know and care about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was. I thought it was a really cool moment because, like I said, I didn't know it had been pretty hush hush to me. I didn't see anything about it, and then there I was waiting for the intro, and I popped. I marked out.
So this is what I've been feeling, Jeff, and let me see if you like where I'm going with this.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have FTR already over
Mm-hmm.
there, and they're the tag team champions, and you got Blanchard with them, right, as their manager.
Yep.
You have Hangman Page, kind of flirting with turning on Kenny Omega, even though they just had their match for number one contendership. And you kind of have a fourth spot available to make a rendition, because
Of the Horseman.
I don't think they should call him the Horseman,
No.
but make a rendition of it, especially when you have Tully Blanchard there. That's already a hint enough of Horseman of what you need, and you make it a 4-man stable. What would you think of Cody Rhodes being the fourth turn in that one? A Rhodes and the Horseman.
Man. I mean, I'd be cool with it. I don't think they're gonna go through with the Hangman turn. I think after seeing the match and the way things have been going the last few weeks or so, that it's probably leaning more towards that Kenny's going heel, going back to the New Japan Kenny. The cleaner, yeah.
And the reason
Just like
I think Cody would work too is because he has Arn with him.
yeah.
Arn,
And
Tully as managers, and then you have a new Horseman rendition.
I've kind of been waiting to see if Arn is going to turn heel himself, because like, what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, when he punched Orange Cassidy during that match? I mean, that like it got glazed over real quick. Like somebody in the commentators said something real fast, and then it's never been talked about again.
Schiavone didn't say anything?
I can't remember. I think Schiavone said something quick about it when it happened, but then they never made mention of it again after the match was over, and haven't said anything about it since. So,
yeah, I fell in love with those podcasts. I should have jumped on them earlier.
I love that. Yeah. What happened when has become one of my favorite listens every week just because it's fucking hilarious.
Fuck yeah, him and fucking Schiavone.
Yeah. I do enjoy Arn though, especially like the Ask Arn Anythings.
I've been wanting to get into the Arn ones. I just haven't had time because I've been getting more into music too. I've been listening to old school music or new like music that I've been missing that I've missed out on just because I've skipped out on music. But I've been throwing it more in there. But I do want to get into Arn's and I don't listen to JR's as much because I think we've talked about this before. If I want to get information or anything, you said either go to the JR ones or the Bruce Pritchard ones, and I do listen to Bruce Pritchard's, but Bruce Pritchard's is, and I'm not trying to talk shit. They just declined because of his whole workload with WWE.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
it's not the same anymore.
No,
it's not the same anymore. Like he still tries.
Yeah,
and I give him credit. I mean, Something to Wrestle With is still a good podcast, but it's not as good as it used to be. Yeah, no, I stay pretty consistent with between Arn, What Happened When, and JR every week. I don't listen to Eric. I never have. I'm just not a big fan of.
I do listen to Eric. It's super informative, and like if I want background stuff, like for pay-per-views, like stuff that I might want to talk about for that pay-per-view, I listen to it at work and I'll write it down like something important. I'm like, oh, okay, I should bring that shit up because it does get kind of boring though, because it does get deep in the woods. It gets deep.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Eric goes off on really weird tangents on shit.
Yes.
And I'm just not that big of a Bischoff fan to begin with. Maybe it's just because I'm still a bitter WCW fan.
I'm back.
But I mean, okay, I should take that back. I do like when they brought Eric into AEW these couple of times for different things. That's been cool. But I just don't think I can listen to Eric for 2 or 3 hours every week. But I like Arn. Arn's cool because you get that he covers more recent WWE stuff, so you may like that more because it's like they go back and forth. One week he covers an old pay-per-view. Next week they do a what or Ask Arn Anything, and it flip-flops every week. Mm-hmm. But he covers like the pay-per-views that he was agenting at, so you get a lot of that insight as an agent, especially like the 2010 era stuff, because he had been Big Match John's fucking agent exclusively. So I like that part.
Damn, he was John's agent. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's why I want to go back and listen to this because it's nuggets of information that they all give you. But what happened when is
different.
What happened when is different.
It's just goofy.
They're buddies.
I love it.
You can tell they're buddies.
Yeah, and that's what I like. I like listening to that dynamic. Mm-hmm. I just like Tony in general anyway. It's the voice of my childhood, but him and Conrad really, it's just two buddies having a good time.
Yeah, fantastic.
Saying goofy ass shit.
Do you think they take the belt off Moxley anytime soon?
They got
Omega coming at him.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, Kenny won that match, so they got Omega coming at him. It could be.
Pac is coming back.
I'm excited to get Pac back. I miss watching him in the ring. Like, I got so used to his. I mean, he just put on such phenomenal matches. I've been enjoying the stuff they've been doing with the NWA Women's Title.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like what they're doing there. And I don't know if you saw that the second show I think got greenlit.
Yeah, they. I listened to an interview with Cody talking about it, but he said it like they haven't really talked about what the second show is going to be yet. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be Dark. They're keeping Dark on YouTube. They like what Dark is able to do on YouTube. And the second show, I don't know what the time frame is for it or anything like that. So
I hope they start incorporating more New Japan, more NWA, work some kind of relationship, something unique.
I hope so too.
Different.
I think they've wanted to have that
Mhm.
relationship with New Japan, but the old brass in charge there wasn't really having it. But now whoever was running New Japan's out, and somebody else is in
I heard
charge.
that as well. I heard that as well. That they did change
Um,
management in New Japan.
and it seems like they have, obviously they've got some kind of relationship going on with the NWA and Billy Corgan, because they've had the NWA's women's titles been being defended for a couple months there now, and there was a couple of NWA guys I feel like that came over for the challenge to Cody, when during his first run of the TNT title when he was doing his open challenge.
And to be honest, it helps out both shows. Like they have more talent
Yeah,
coming over and challenging their women. So their women
well in the end
right now is what's kind of they need a little bit more girls,
they do,
and
they
the
do.
NWA gets exposure to their women's title.
Yeah, and the NWA hasn't been running shows, so these women. I mean, a lot of their wrestlers, but these women aren't working. So, I mean, if you're gonna give them an opportunity, and I like having Thunder Rosa around. I enjoy watching her.
Yeah, I love the face paint aspect.
Yeah,
And she's a good
yeah, me
wrestler,
too.
and she's an
Yeah,
MMA
she's
fighter.
right. Her and Evilise have had some really good matches, and
Oh no, it was Evilise and the Cuban chick that were.
Diamante.
Yeah, they were actually beating the fuck out of each other in their debut match. But apparently,
Yeah,
there's
and
like
then
some like backstage heat that they've carried from promotion. Like they just don't like each other.
oh, her and
Diamante.
Diamante.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't like each other at all.
yeah,
Her
I
and
heard.
Thunder Rosa.
Her and Evilise actually got into it too.
Oh, word.
Yeah, her and
Because
Evilise
they
got
were,
into it. The first match.
and
Uh,
then they were tagging together
yep.
for a while. Then
Yeah.
they won that tag team tournament.
I wonder if they put them together because of that. Because they were,
Could be.
yeah, because that first match they were working really stiff with each other, and apparently there's a little backstage heat between them.
I didn't know that. I knew there was heat with Evilise and Thunder Rosa.
Okay, I could see that too.
Yeah, those two don't like each other.
Maybe I'm confusing them too.
I think that's it. I think you're talking about those two.
Okay,
When she first came in, because she wrestled Evilise when she came in.
okay, because Evilise debuted, and so did Diamante, and then I think Thunder Rosa debuted against Evilise, which she was already there.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because they debuted and then they ended up teaming together. They did the whole tournament, and then Thunder Rosa came in. But yeah, her and Diamante had a stiff ass match. I do remember that.
I wonder if because I know Thunder Rosa is an MMA fighter. I wonder if the other chick is too. Because you don't want to get tangled up with the fucking MMA fighter.
I think Evilise trains or is like practitioner in jiu-jitsu, but I could be wrong.
I like Evilise. I remember her from
Lucha.
yep, Lucha Underground. It's weird. I caught the first 2 seasons of that.
I had never seen it. I knew about it, but never really watched it. But then had found out about people coming from there from you. Other people like Ricochet and Penta and
Hmm.
shit like that. But like, I didn't know who Evilise was when she came in, and obviously she's a good looking chick. So that caught my eye right away. And then I watched her first match, and she put on a hell of a match. So I became a fan, started looking up shit on her. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. No,
She was on, wasn't she on Tough Enough too?
I'm not sure about that. I never watched Tough Enough.
Me either. Early
Who?
one, I guess
Yeah.
I did.
Who does? I think everyone was interested in seeing the first one, and then everyone's like, "All right, this isn't worth it."
That was the one I watched like all the way through. After that, it was like, I didn't watch it anymore.
Yeah. For people that didn't watch Lucha Underground, it was something different. It was a little bit more soap opera ish. They had a lot more Mexican stars. Corn was part of it. Vampiro was part of it. He was an announcer, and they actually had like vignettes or like skits where it was like a soap opera skit.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember didn't like Vampiro die at one point or something? And
Dude, they ripped out someone's heart and ate it.
yeah,
Yeah, it was.
I remember hearing some crazy shit.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So one of the storylines with Cero Miedo, Pentagon, was
Yeah,
a super jacked mask guy. I don't know who. I forgot his name. Uh, broke his back and like they had him like suspended like in some kind of getup and shit where like his back was all fucked up. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, like he broke his back and he actually was coming back and he was gonna start having matches against this guy for the belt. Um, at this time too, they had some belt that you had to collect talismans and put them into the belt, and once you collect all seven talismans, you could challenge for the belt. Yeah, it got pretty crazy. It was like some kind of like
that's weird.
it was like Aztec faces or like Aztec symbols on there, and like you made like a. It was some of the wrestling was pretty crazy though.
I was gonna hear. I heard like the work was really good.
Hmm.
Like there was good matches there. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was voodoo storylines that I can't remember. They ripped out a guy's heart and ate it. Yeah,
Kalema.
dude, that's all that was missing. Now that's extreme, bro. Let's get back to this pay-per-view.
Yeah, he diverged quite a bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Conan Jason Knight match was 14 seconds long. Conan hits him with a razor's edge like maneuver. Jason Knight, I guess, because you guys should know who Conan is if you guys are wrestling fans, but he's wearing a mask here, shirtless. But Jason Knight is a pretty boy, very arrogant. Rick
Douchebag.
Martel, douchebag-ish, kissing at the camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's kind of got Tatanka mullet. That's the hairstyle.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a very 90s mullet. And yeah, the model, he's like a more modern version of the model, I guess. That's a perfect analogy for it.
When I saw him, I'm like, who does he remind me of? I'm like, Rick Martel. I'm like, nah. I'm like, there's an essence of Rick Martel there. And Rick Martel did
Yeah.
do ECW for like a hot minute.
Was Rick Martel in ECW?
Or am I making that up?
He might have been in like the. Yeah, he might. Yeah, I think he was for a hot minute.
I think when he left WWF.
Because I think even after WCW. Because
Yeah.
he was in WCW for a little while.
I forgot to mention that this match was a short match because Taz is a special guest referee. Jason Knight gets in his face, and Taz is like, "Oh yeah, we'll start the match." Or he punches him, and then he starts the match. So Conan's like, "All right, fuck this," and he just hits him with a move.
Yeah, a nice like a razor's edge type move, but with a different finish to it.
Yeah.
It was a good variation. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never seen that before.
Yeah. Unique. Next match was Stevie Richards with the debuting Blue Meanie.
The debut of the Blue Meanie.
Taking on El Puerto Rican, or El Puertorriqueño, which is the Puerto Rican. He looked more Native American than anything, to be honest.
I did not remember El Puertorriqueño.
Why would you? He looks looks like a Native American, and he's very bland. So from what I got from El Puertorriqueño is he can wrestle, but it looks like he put the match together in his head, and he's just going bop 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 bop. There's no feel, there's no flavor. It's just I'm doing this move to do this move to this move because the ref is trying to count, and he's not even giving him time. He's already moving to his next spot on the ropes, or maybe he's just excited. I don't know.
When Joey Styles, I remember like he kept calling him the Rookie, if I remember right.
Okay.
It was just like he kept referring to him as the Rookie, the Rookie.
Yeah, the guy's wearing like blue jean shorts, like a black shirt, and he's got long hair. Can't really see his face too much. I don't. I guess I could see who he is. Ecuadorian professional wrestler, so he's not even Puerto Rican. All right, he's a phony. Nah, I guess this is his best thing is El Puertorriqueño and Ubas in WWF, but the Jobber. Sorry, don't mean to be as blatant as that, but
total total jobber.
yeah.
I like I said, I don't even remember him in ECW.
I don't even know who you are. You took everything from me. When is that coming out? WandaVision.
um, I think.
They're pushing it back, right? They keep on pushing it back.
Yeah, I don't even know anymore because everything has constantly been pushed back. So, but all the movies are pushed back. I think they're still going forward with the television
Yeah.
shows.
But I think since they pushed back Black Widow, and that was part of the timeline,
Yeah.
this is going to be part of the timeline too. I think they had to push the TV show back since they're trying to incorporate the TV shows.
I don't think. Well, Black Widow's not part of the timeline because it's a prequel.
Oh, okay. Well, who knows?
It's a
Maybe. Dun, dun,
well,
dun.
maybe.
I heard there was going to be a face
But-
swap with her and her sister, and Natalia's really alive. What?
It's that'd be all right. I'd be all right with that swerve. It's a swerve.
It's a swerve, bro. Nah, it just happened in the comics, so they're kind of like, what if it happens here?
That'd be all right with me. But supposedly it's supposed to be not be in the actual timeline. So realistically, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I think the one that got pushed, that kind of the Eternals getting pushed, but now I think Doctor Strange is going to come before the Eternals now. So I think they're still going ahead with the WandaVision show on time because they just pushed up Doctor Strange or some shit. I don't fucking know. And those two are intertwined together.
I heard she might be the evil in that.
But she fucks up the whole multiverse in WandaVision.
Yeah, I've been watching too many theory videos on that. Excited.
It's like the House of M series, basically, is what they're taking off on.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've already confirmed the mutant gene in the MCU. So
yeah, did you see that they said that the snaps are what is going to be the activator because of the whole release of the radiation. That's going to be what activates the X genes. That it's been dormant in people. But there have been some mutants because they have the X gene. Very rare.
Yeah, they couldn't say the word mutant until they got the rights back from Fox. Mm-hmm. So they had to call them enhanced.
Yeah.
That's why the word mutant has never been used, is because Fox had it. But
I'm excited because Feige kind of it is Feige, right? The guy that's doing this.
Yeah.
Kevin
Feige's the head of Marvel Studios.
Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed the 10 years before this. Well, by hell, I collected a ton of their fucking figures, wasted a shitload of money.
We owe a lot of that to the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because like I've been going back through and watching the MCU in the chronological order on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And going from Avengers, the original Avengers that Joss Whedon did, into Captain America, Winter Soldier, the introduction of the fucking Russo brothers, it was just like, holy shit. And then what the Russo brothers did with the next Avengers movies and everything else to finish off the MCU, I mean, they killed it.
Next time I get a chance, I'm going to throw on the Iron Man movies from start to finish. It should be on Disney, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the Iron Mans? Yeah, they have it. If you go into the Disney Plus in the Marvel section, they have it broke down in each phase. Or they have it the whole timeline in chronological order. So instead of starting with Iron Man, it starts with Captain America, goes to Captain Marvel, and then into Iron Man 1 and 2 and stuff like that. The only things that they don't have on Disney, though, is the Hulk and the 2 Spider-Man movies, because they don't own the rights to them, which sucks if you're trying to watch the MCU.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Back to the pay-per-view.
Back to the pay-per-view.
Yeah. So debuting Blue Meanie here gives Stevie Richards his shirt. I forgot what band was on there.
Flock of Seagulls.
Yep, there we go. I love Flock of Seagulls. And,
fucking Flock of Seagulls.
It's because Stevie Ray has like band tattoos and he wears flannel. And
yeah, he's got a Motley Crue tattoo.
Yep, there you go.
Stevie Richards has a Motley Crue tattoo.
So that's why Blue Meanie gives him that. Now that I remember, dude, I wanted to punch this guy so bad in the face. The guy that's next to Blue Meanie giving Stevie Richards the finger nonstop with like an angry face and like doing this thing and like doing the cross fingers and like I was like, oh my god, dude.
The guy with the shitty dreads.
Yeah, I was like, that guy being a wrestling fan. I don't want to be associated with that guy.
He's an ECW regular.
Because he was shaking up with Ray later on, I think. So he gets to fucking shake up with all these guys, but like that was super disrespectful.
Yeah, like that whole little area of guys, they're all like the ECW regular fans basically that are always there together. I don't remember what he was, but I always remember seeing his shitty dreads with Sign Guy and Straw Hat Guy and whatever the shirt guy was.
Was he tie-dye guy with shitty dreads?
Might have been.
I don't know what his gimmick, but yeah, I was like watching that, and I guess they really couldn't focus away from it because it was a Stevie Richards kind of little thing.
Fucking Philly, man.
Yeah.
Fucking Philly.
3-minute match here. El Puerto Riqueño gets a lot of his offense in early on, and then Stevie Richards hits him with two of his what is his power bombs?
The Stevie Bomb.
Yeah, the 2 Stevie Bombs, and then gets the win in 3 minutes. It's a pretty quick match.
Well, don't forget about Blue Meanie going for a fucking moonsault.
Yeah, he misses the moonsault on El Puerto Riqueño and just flops.
But goddamn, did he hit a good moonsault?
Yeah.
For a guy his size.
And it was warranted because El Puerto Riqueño tope suicided earlier at Blue Meanie.
Yeah.
So he had to get him back. He didn't, but he was trying to.
Tope suicida!
By God. Fuck, I forgot what move Conrad was telling, because they were watching old school shit, and he was telling them to call it that. He was telling Shivani to call it.
Oh, Tony, yeah, what was it? That was like a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember now. Yeah, something. God damn it. Yeah, it was the something head scissors.
Oh, it was the Steiners were doing it, I think. Early on Steiners.
Oh yeah, that was that was like Halloween Havoc 89 or 90.
I think one of those.
Yeah, last week or something.
Yeah, it was some weird ass fucking name, but it was hilarious. He was like, you should use it on
on AEW and watch Excalibur's head explode.
Yeah. That would be fucking awesome if he did something like that. And sometimes he is incorporating it more. He is realizing it is little Easter eggs for us fans. We're like, oh my god, it's fucking from the podcast. Like
yeah.
And I don't think he realized it at first. Like, and he did till he started seeing the lowest rule shirts. But then he's like, I can do Easter eggs too just by saying shit from the podcast. And he's realized it, but it's got to be natural and be worked in, of course. But
they have the best T-shirts.
I need to make T-shirts for the podcast already. For me, I keep saying it. I just need to give Toucan money.
Fucking What Happened One has the best shirts. They're so fucking great.
I've been coming up with ideas because I'm like, I need merch. One of the ideas was Frankie 316 says I just tore my scrot. We used to make fun of Frankie because he had an injury near his nuts, and we used to say that he tore his scrotum. So that's one of my shirt ideas. And then what did I want to do for Jamie? I wanted to do Jamie the Jobber, bum fighting champion since whatever year he was born or whatever, because he used to beat up bums when he was a teenager like a fucking jackass.
What?
Yeah. He used to hit him with sticks and stuff. He was a fucking jerk, dude.
What a dick.
Yeah, well, he's a fucking dick. So we would call him Boxcar Jamie. I think that's what it was. And he's the champion of bums.
I used to call my cousin that I used to live with Boxcar Rodney.
Did he beat
Because
up bums too?
no, we just he used to talk about like he was gonna go be a hobo one day and ride trains around the West Coast, and there was this whole thing about him getting addicted to heroin. He became Boxcar Rodney. It was kind of a sad tale, really, but it's probably what's gonna end up happening.
Speaking of heroin, you want to meet up in Oregon?
Jesus Christ, everything's legal.
Hey, that should be. If people want to do it, let them. Shouldn't lock them in cages.
I'd go to Oregon if I didn't have to quarantine for 2 weeks when I came back.
Yeah. Chicago, same way. They don't. Well, they advise that you do it, but.
Yeah, my job would make me. If I got on an airplane, I would have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm good. I quarantined for 3 weeks when I had mono. That's enough.
Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah. They had to be safe, didn't they? Just in case.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was too sick, dude. I had a fever for like
goddamn
2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or some shit like that.
Goddamn.
Yeah. Yeah. At first, I just like it started out. I thought I had sun poisoning because I got sunburned really bad that weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and like for a couple of days, I just felt really tired and off, and I thought I was just like from too much sun. And then I started getting a fever. I went to urgent care like a couple days later, and they told me I had the flu. And then after like a week and a half of still having a fever, and then I started getting like, I felt like I had strep throat. So I went back and went to a doctor and got a strep throat test. And then I didn't have strep throat. And they did some blood work, and they were like, oh yeah, you have mono. My liver started fucking like failing and shit. I was turning yellow, bro. Yeah, man, it was bad. Like I was pretty close to possibly dying.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, they told me at one point, like when they found out shit and like my numbers were so fucked up, they're like, if you have any abdominal pain, you need to go to the emergency room immediately. I was like, oh, cool.
If you had a fever, you should have tried some cowbell.
I tried everything. I couldn't get rid of the fever. Even cowbell wasn't helping, man. Nah, that was the worst fucking thing. It was like basically 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks of just having a fever, getting it to break for like 10, 12 hours, and then they come back.
Well, I'm glad you survived it so we could talk about this pay-per-view.
Me too, man. Don't get mono, kids.
The kissing disease.
Yeah, and I only kissed one person, and she didn't have any symptoms or ever get sick. So I think I got it from smoking a joint with somebody.
Very possible.
Yeah.
The Pitbulls. Pitbull number 1 and Pitbull number 2 with Francine. Taking on the Eliminators. Perry Saturn and John Kronos.
Early Francine.
Yeah, she's pretty down.
Yeah, there's history. So Jason used to be the Pitbull's manager at one point.
Jason Knight? Okay. So Jason Knight is with the Eliminators.
Yeah, this is like the Eliminators are Jason's new team, and it's fairly recent. I don't think it's their debut, but they haven't been. It's their pay-per-view debut for sure. They haven't been in the ECW very long.
And
so, super young Perry Saturn.
Yeah. This match really caught my eye because it wasn't that crazy, like, oh my god, it's the best work I've ever seen in my life. It was good tag team wrestling with good double moves. And by double moves, I mean 2-on-1 moves by both tag teams, not just one being a badass tag team that does that. And not just because, the Pitbulls have shit names. They could have named them Pitbull something and Pitbull number 2 something. Or you could have just gotten rid of the
Right.
numbers and named them Pitbull this and Pitbull that. They could have still been the Pitbulls. It'd be a little bit more creative, but they it surprised me because they were a good tag team and they don't even have good
Yeah.
names. They they put together good tag moves and so did the Eliminators. It was pretty good.
The Eliminators were one of my favorite teams for a while. I mean, they weren't together very long. Saturn left, within about a year or so from now for WCW. But I was a big fan of the Eliminators, like just because of the stuff that they could do.
Yeah.
But the Pitbulls were for a power tag team were really good together.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind coming out chained up by Francine.
No, not at all.
I'd let her
In
walk me
leather.
out to the ring. Yeah, her ass was hanging out.
Yep. She looked good too.
Yeah. So, Pip.
Not as.
They're working on Pitbull number 2, which I believe is the bald guy. So they're beating up the bald guy for a while. And does his arm gets cut up, right?
Yeah. One of them gets split open by accident.
Yeah.
I think it's Pitbull number 2.
Yeah,
Gary Wolf.
Guy. So the only way you could kind of tell them apart, Pitbull number 1 has long hair. Pitbull number 2 is bald. So that's how you could differentiate them. The Eliminators, one's Perry Saturn, and John Kronos is the fatter one with the not tied up hair. If you guys are watching this and don't know. But yeah, they have Jason Knight from earlier with them. And like I mentioned, they're hitting badass tag moves. They're working a lot, though, on Pitbull number 2. They hold him back for the while. He's the one getting worked on. Eventually, Pitbull number 1 gets the hot tag. And they wind up picking up the victory. But at the end of the match, Jason Knight comes and sexually assaults Francine. And because it was more than a kiss, he pretty much tackles her to the floor, and he's like...
Yeah, he's like dry humping her.
Yeah, pretty much. Very sexual.
That's an assault.
Yeah, that was pretty assaultish. Yeah, I would say so.
That's assault, brother.
Yeah. Surprised he didn't get a case, but... The Pitbulls then attack him. The Eliminators attack the Pitbulls. They take advantage of the situation, and they leave kind of the big bad guys that beat up the Pitbulls after the fact they lost, though. But still, they kind of leave strong. In my eyes, how I saw it after watching this, they still leave kind of strong. And
for sure,
even
2 total eliminations. And
Joey Styles even mentions that this isn't the end of this rivalry. This is just the beginning of it, and that kind of leads into it as well. Like, the Eliminators lost, but they beat up the Pitbulls after the fact. So we're gonna keep it going.
I used to think total elimination was such a badass move, and I don't know why. Because it's just a double kick.
Yeah. No, they made it look good, I guess.
The first one looked good. The second one, Cronus was real lazy on that jump kick. He did not jump real high. He was all blown the fuck up.
He was blown up, bro.
And he couldn't hit that second one, so the second one looked like shit. The first one looked real good. That's a only hit one time move. Can't do it back to back apparently for poor John.
Let's see. Next match after this is probably my favorite
Mexican death match.
It's the Rey Mysterio match versus Psychosis.
The Mexican death match.
Yes. The Mexican death match. Quick rule explanation for a Mexican death match. You get counted 1, 2, 3. I guess a submission as well would count. Then you're down for... If you're down for a 10 count, then you lose. So not only do you have to get pinned or submitted, you have to be down for a 10 count. And I'm not too sure about that submission part. I made that up. I threw it in there. Just for funs and giggles.
I think so, though. I think any fall...
Mm-hmm. Any fall would have counted.
Yeah.
So this is what caught my eye. Rey Mysterio weighs 138 pounds. He is tiny.
Tiny.
Psychosis weighs 190 something, I believe. So he's up there. He's more man weight than Rey Mysterio.
Rey was like 19, 20 years old, I think. He was young as fuck.
Yeah. And Psychosis dwarfs him.
Yeah.
Early on, Psychosis is getting a lot of his offense on Ray. He's beating up on Ray. No, actually, first Ray's using his he's using his speed and agility, goes to the outside, misses a move, and then this is where Psychosis takes over for the majority of the match. And then towards the end, what the fuck did Ray do to get it back into it? I don't know. He gets back into it, and do you remember how he got the victory? I wrote it down.
Yeah, they ended up on the outside.
Yeah, there we go.
Ray hits the Hurricane Rana off of the crow's nest onto a table and spikes Psychosis onto a table.
Mm-hmm.
Gets the 1, 2, 3, and then him and Jim Monaloo run back to the ring, and Psychosis can't answer the 10 count. He tries to stand up and falls down.
Yeah, he falls off the platform. He sells that well too in the fan area. He falls off the little platform area, like gets up and stumbles off and falls. Yeah, that was a pretty badass match with Psychosis beating up on Ray for a while, and you have the comeback story with Ray.
Good work, Ray. I mean, the multiple falls. It was a great match.
Yeah,
probably the best match on the card. I would say by far.
Yeah, and I almost skipped over Ray's fucking. So Ray starts off pretty strong with his being very agile, super fast, using high fly moves, and he gets the first fall on Psychosis, but Psychosis gets up quick. The next 6 falls, I think, are on Ray, and he gets up at the count of 10, usually on all of them. So that's the story of the match. He's getting up at the last second. Psychosis is putting it on him. Missile drop kicks, leg drops off the top rope, landing power
bomb.
Yep. It's quite a display by Psychosis being the bigger guy. He gets to put on quite a display of moves. I used to pick Psychosis a lot in Revenge, I think it was WCW versus NWO Revenge.
NWO.
Yeah, I used to pick Psychosis a lot. My cousin used to pick Juventud Guerrero, and we used to go for the tag titles, and those were our tag guys, and because they had both. So I had the leg drop off the top ropes, and he had I think a frog splash, so it kind of worked in tandem.
Yeah, the 450.
Yeah, so we would time it perfect, that. We would try to do stuff like that, have tag teams that would land cool moves together.
That's awesome. Fuck yeah.
Those were the days. Did we have a Mexican death match recently? Fuck. I know we had a collar match in AEW.
The dog collar match. Yeah, I don't think there's, not that I know of a Mexican death match.
I watched too much wrestling. I probably saw an old one, because I've been watching old school wrestling too. Maybe it was I saw a different one. I don't know.
That dog collar match was pretty awesome though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They didn't just slap on a stupid gimmick and not pay respect and actually do it right. Like WWE's let's have a dog collar match, and they're like, all right, cool. These guys are like, let's have a dog collar match. All right, cool. Let's go look at old footage. Let's take the good and let's try to improve on it any way we can, and let's put on a hell of a performance. WWE's just like, yeah, whatever. It's a dog collar match. People are gonna buy it.
It's fun. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this bunkhouse stampede match Wednesday.
On AEW?
Yeah. Oh, you did. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Butcher and Blade versus the Natural Nightmares in a bunkhouse stampede match.
Nice.
Yeah, Dustin called out for it.
Nice. The Rhodes brothers.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Rey Mysterio picks up the win after Psychosis can't answer the 10 count. After this, we have a ECW Tag Team Championship match. We have 2 Gold Scorpio here.
Oh, wait. Before we move into that, there was a little bit after the match when Jason comes out.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Jason comes out trying to be ask Ray if he can be his manager, and calls him a little bitch,
mm-hmm.
and then beats up on Ray. the Eliminators come out, and 911 comes out and fucks everybody up.
And they're like,
I
what tag team match that would be?
Yeah, I just like it when Ray leaves on
On his
fucking
shoulders, yeah.
911 shoulders, jumps off the ropes, and then onto 911.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
But yeah, sorry. Now to Two Gold
No. Good
Scorpio.
thing, because I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, Jason Knight was all over this pay per view after every
Yeah, a
match.
lot of Jason Knight,
Mm.
unfortunately.
All right, let's see. Next match after this was 2 Gold Scorpio, because he has 2 belts. You get it? He's got the television championship and the tag team championship. I actually like these belts, the tag team belts, the ECW ones.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
they look nice. They're traditional. The television title is the one that they kind of carried over to WCW, I guess. And it, or is it an old school WWF one? It looks like the one that Hogan, before the Winged Eagle, kind of looks like that.
I'm not sure.
The,
I thought the heavyweight title was like a shitty Wing Eagle, but I can't remember what the old shit. Sorry, what the old TV title was. Which title it was originally.
yeah, so 2 Gold Scorpio. Sandman would be no, I guess he wouldn't be double champion. So I guess Sandman lost the championship to Mikey Whipwreck. I'm not too sure how long or how long before this, but since that happened, Too Cool Scorpio won the tag team championships by himself and gave the championship to Sandman.
To Sandman.
Yeah, since he lost his belt. So he wouldn't be a cool nickname like that because
Nope,
he lost the belt.
just the Sandman.
Mm-hmm. So they come out with Woman here to take on Public Enemy. Public Enemy was a fan favorite. Didn't make it anywhere else. Farouk and Bradshaw were not favorites. They
Fuck no, they beat the shit out of them.
Hey guys, we're not taking the table spot. You're not taking the table spot? All right. We'll see about that. Damn. They have a dance off before this. Too Cool Scorpio
Yeah.
against Rocco. Rocco is horrible at the dance off. They get Sandman involved. I don't remember if Grunge gets involved.
Not really.
Right? They try to get Woman involved, and once she starts dancing, Rocco he grinds up all on her, and they separate them, and they start the match. This one wasn't that good of a match, to be honest, especially compared to the Pitbull match or the Pitbulls match in the Eliminators. And maybe because these guys aren't tag team champions, more Sandman, more so than Too Cool Scorpio. The fact that he gave him the belt kind of shows you they probably wouldn't have chemistry to begin with as a tag team.
Right. And the Public Enemy were beloved, but they were never that great of workers. They were just like the first ones that started introduced the tables, team putting people through the tables. And like Rocco could do some shit, some decent high flying stuff off the ropes and stuff like that. But
yeah, I think he does a Hurricanrana during it. Was kind of sloppy, but
Too
Cool
kind
of sells it.
It's kind of they're just kind of sloppy. They're not real great workers to begin with. So,
and the look is kind of funny. If you guys don't know Public Enemy, it's 2 older guys. It looks like they're dressed as fucking 15-year-olds. Right?
I mean, they were dressed how a lot of people dressed in '95.
Yeah, like 15-year-olds.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, 15-year-olds in '95, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you in '95, Rafa?
In '95, I was 7. I was 7 years old here. So I was
All
like,
right.
Razor Ramon's cool. He's. I was definitely a Razor Ramon fan at this time. Probably only WWF. I didn't get into WCW until he jumped ship, and the, that's why I love. That's why I'm an NWO guy for life. When they jumped ship, I jumped with them. I'm like, you know what? Let me check these guys out. I'm a Razor fan. I love Diesel. Hogan's over there. Macho Man. Yeah. I had to. I had to go check it out, and I'm like, man, this is so real. Look at them. They got bats and they're beating the shit out of everybody. As a
They threw
kid,
Rey Mysterio like a dart.
yeah, yeah. As an 9-year old, that shit was awesome. And the video games, like that was the first fun video game I remember. Like grappling, doing moves, like their whole system of the wrestling. Like I had played the other games, Raw, I think was before that, the one with Austin on the cover. I don't know, they were just boxier. The WWE games were just, I don't know, a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah. Acclaim was didn't really have their shit together until they got a little later in the game.
Um, Anything to point out from this match?
I believe this was the last match for the Public Enemy.
In ECW?
Yeah, this was definitely towards the end of their time. Like if you hear the beginning of the match, the fans are chanting, "Please don't go, please don't go." And Joey Styles was talking about how they didn't have a deal with ECW. They've been fielding offers from the WWF. They've been fielding offers from WCW, and I think this is their last match.
Damn, do they jump ship to WCW?
I don't remember if they jump ship to WCW or if that's when they went to try out. Yeah, did they go to WCW first? Yes, they did.
Yeah, because the
They
WWF one would have been later. Because for the Farouk and
Yeah, because
Bradshaw would be
it was during the Attitude Era, so
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been later.
Mhm.
I was just thinking about them. I thought they were there they must have came back during the Russo era. But yeah, they did. I remember. Yeah, they did come in like '95 during early Nitro. 95, 96.
That TV. Might as well take advantage of it. Pay him.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
That's about it though.
Yeah.
That was really the only thing. Oh, and the Sandman gets a shot at the ECW Heavyweight Championship off of this match because he scored the pinfall.
Oh, yeah. So later on tonight, whoever gets the pinfall gets a shot at Mikey Whipwreck. And out of luck, Sandman falls into them. Or falls into, I think it's Rocco. And he gets the pin.
Yeah.
Forgot exactly.
Yeah, like all the titles were at hand, and so was Too Cold Scorpio's TV title, if I remember right, too.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't say it here, but they mention at the end that he also retains. I don't know how often they mentioned it, but the announcer definitely mentions that he retains it. Do you remember at some point during the match, Too Cold Scorpio pulls a fake arm from somewhere?
Yeah.
The guy with a prosthetic in the
Yeah,
crowd.
he pulls his hand and beats Rocco with it while Johnny Grunge is outside hitting the Sandman with a frying pan.
Is that why they keep Grunge out? That's a good thing we kept going. Is that why they keep Grunge out? Grunge out is cut open, nasty, and just bleeding.
Oh yeah, he's bleeding like a stuck pig.
Yeah, I don't know if
that's yeah. I don't know if they kept him out on purpose because of that, or if it was just so Sandman didn't have to work in the ring because he would have been blown up.
And Sandman fucking shirt is the most disgusting thing after this. It's got blood spots all over it, the dirt from the mat, his cigarette ashes, sweet beer, sweat. It's just fucking... At the end of the match, it's just one of the worst things ever.
Yeah, it was pretty disgusting.
And does Sandman not know that like these are being filmed? Like he does not give a fuck at all. It's like
He
his
didn't have the money for good rig attire.
looks like he woke up, threw on his sneakers, and like, all right, let me throw on this bandana.
Pretty much. That's how he always dressed. Except back in the early ECW days when he was Mr. Sandman and he wore a fucking wetsuit.
And then the ring doesn't help that it's got everyone's blood, but it's dirt. Like it's dirty.
Yeah. Yeah, that canvas hasn't been cleaned in a while.
Mm-mm. Yeah, maybe they should have got a new one, especially if it was going to be a November to remember.
They weren't making money back then.
Yeah, I guess. No, you could definitely tell how indie it was. It feels super indie, super indie. It's awesome seeing this. Like super, this is Raw. Like this should have been named Raw. ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling Raw because it was raw to the bone. In some
like
aspects.
back in the day, that was the pinnacle of the indies. You know what I mean? Like what ROH ended up becoming. Things like during the before it exploded, it became a bigger organization. But when it was like the peak of the indies, that's what ECW was. If you were an indie wrestler, you wanted to get to ECW if you couldn't get to the WWE or WCW.
Mm-hmm. So the network either doesn't have this. I don't know what happened, but the Axel Rotten versus TJ Smith match isn't on there, and it's an NA. Did it not happen?
Yeah, it happened, but some of them get edited off the feed or don't end up on the network. I don't know. It's happened with other ECW pay-per-views. It's happened with I remember Conrad and an old WCW pay-per-view. The same thing happened, and I don't know if it was something on the ECW end, and when WCW or when they WWE got the library, that's the version they had, or what. But
maybe it was just Axel Rotten being too brutal. Axel Rotten was known for being from what I've seen, he goes too far. Maybe not for
it could,
ECW, but for my taste.
yeah, could be. I don't know, but I mean, the last match is pretty brutal.
Yeah. The last match is, yeah. Like
And
to think like what could he have
Johnny,
done that could have been worse, or like why is it off of it? That was what I was thinking.
yeah, that's I think it might have gotten edited off the home video release.
So,
And then it just ended up being like an ECW hardcore TV match or something.
oh, okay. So Axel Rotten defeats JT Smith in that non-available match. After this, Bill Alfonso is taking on Ted Gordon, and Ted Gordon was the commissioner or the on-screen commissioner.
Yeah, Todd was the commissioner and part owner with Paulie.
Okay,
he was the on-screen commissioner.
He was there when they threw the belt down, right? He was part of the deal with it.
Yeah, Todd was like the original owner of Eastern Championship Wrestling, I believe, before Paulie came in.
Okay. Bill Alfonso defeats Todd Gordon. Beulah McGillicuddy is the special guest referee. Before Bill Alfonso decks the shit out of her with a clothesline. They would have never let this happen in WWE.
No.
He hit her pretty hard. You hit her pretty hard there, Rick.
Yeah. Beulah looks so good, too.
Yeah. So, what's the deal with Beulah? Was she like the super hot one that was kind of like the good girl that wasn't as hoary as Francine?
She came in with Raven during his feud with Tommy Dreamer. And originally, because like in the original feud with Tommy Dreamer, Raven was a kid that Tommy knew when he was younger and he was a bully to or whatever. So he was coming back to get his revenge. Beulah was a fat girl originally who had a crush on Tommy as a kid. And now she's a fucking
smoke show.
Yeah.
Like I said,
And
I
then
need to go back and watch some early ECW to get this.
she was, yeah, she was a little. There was a. I wouldn't say she was less slutty than Francine because there was some storylines with her where she was a little bit of a hooer.
Can't blame her. Can't blame
No,
her.
not at all. Nah, can't blame Tommy for snagging that up.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So Bill Alfonso defeats Todd Gordon with the help of Taz.
Yeah, this is the debut of the original uniting of Taz and Bill Alfonso.
And if you guys don't know who Bill Alfonso is, he was he was a WWF referee, right? If I'm not mistaken.
He was a legitimate official for a long time and was worked in the WWF for a while, and I think he did some matches in WCW back in the day too.
Yeah, so
Before he ended up.
that was crazy to see him here first, and then go back and watch matches, and I'm like, wait a minute, Bill Alfonso was a real referee. I'm
Yeah,
like, no, I'm like that was just a thing that they had in ECW, but no, he was a real ref, and
yeah, and WWF in like the early '90s, 91, 92,
then went on to be
93.
super fucking annoying, but played the character awesomely. That character that he played was crazy good.
The asshole with the whistle.
Yep. As a
Yep.
manager for RVD, Sabu, Taz.
Taz.
I don't know who else.
I think that's it because he was with Taz, and then he turned on Taz, and then he was with RVD and Sabu. Maybe
So,
Rhino. I don't remember.
At this point, does he stop being a referee and he becomes a manager?
Yeah.
Okay. And Bill Alfonso was brought in by the franchise, right? Because he thought, or he didn't think, he was accusing Sandman or the commission of cheating and not doing the right thing. So he brought in Bill Alfonso as his referee. And I guess this is Bill Alfonso breaking out and becoming manager. And then eventually we'll see him manage the top stars here at ECW. He got some color here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets some nice color here. Well, pretty much everyone got some color here. So I'm surprised Francine and Beulah didn't.
He has a match with Beulah at one point later on, and he gets some serious color that match.
Fonzie?
Yeah. so for a shoot during the during the raids and shit of especially like Eric Bischoff, because Paulie's a fucking psycho, he somehow got Todd Gordon's voicemail password or passcode, right? So you know how like back in the day you could call yourself like from somebody else's cell phone, you could call, and when you'd go to get your voicemail, you hit like pound and hit your code, and it would bring up you could access your voicemails, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Paulie had gotten a hold of Todd's and found some messages from like either from like Terry Taylor and Bill Alfonso about like people like stealing people, guys jumping ship, them going to WCW and making a bunch of money and all this other bullshit. And so like Todd got fired, and so was Fonzie. And as part of the storyline with shit, he had this match with Beulah, and basically this match with Beulah saved his job. Damn. He went out and got his ass kicked, but put on a hell of a match for somebody who's not a wrestler, and it basically saved his job.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
But yeah. Yep.
We saw what happened at Disco Inferno when he didn't want a job for Jacqueline. He was fired till he agreed to do it.
Yep.
Came back and still had to do it.
The old Disco. Can hear him on Keeping It 100.
With
Glenn Gilbert,
Conan, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a co-host on Conan's show. I've never listened to it,
Yeah,
but
me neither.
Conan sent me a DM on Twitter about it one time when I followed him.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's I'm that asshole that does that. But there's people that add me like fake profiles that like they have like they add a bunch of people with like a hot chick picture, and then like
Yep.
a month later they switch it to their ugly ass picture,
Yep.
and they're like from like a third world country and shit. So what I do is someone when someone adds me, and the first thing they do is message me, and they're like, "Hello, how are you?" I'm like, "Fine. You should check out Full Heel Podcast. Here's a link to my podcast."
That's not being an asshole. You're just like hitting back a robo thing.
Yeah, I'm giving it back to them because sometimes
I
they
just
engage.
This is a robo thing sending me a thing telling me I need to listen to his podcast
Okay.
just because I hit the follow button
Yeah.
on his Twitter. It's like an automatic response
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I hit him back with this. It's like, you guys want to get me? I'll get you real quick.
Right. That's funny. I think that's funny as shit.
Because some guy tried to talk to me about Bitcoin. He wouldn't leave me alone. Like, I ignored him the first time, and then he came back at me. He's like, hey, so do you know anything about Bitcoin? And I checked out his profile, and he was like a Bitcoin salesman. So I'm like, yeah, I've heard about Bitcoin on a couple podcasts. And he's like, would you like some information on Bitcoin? I'm like, nah. I'm like, would you like some information on my podcast? I'm like, do you listen to podcasts? He's like, no, not really. I'm like, but you should listen to my podcast. And then I give him the link, and I'm like, yeah, it's a really good podcast. Just me and my buddies talking about wrestling. He's like, I'm not in a podcast. And I'm like, it's a really good podcast.
It's a really good podcast. You should check it out.
And then I just never get out the subject, and he tries to get back to Bitcoin. And I'm like, nah.
No, my friend.
Full Heel Podcast. Yeah, Full Heel Podcast. All right. Mikey Whipwreck taking on Sandman from earlier.
Yeah, Sandman.
Because he won the #1 contendership, so he's he's tired, but he's got to go through with it. Jeff, he's got to pull through.
He's got it. Yep.
And get his revenge on Mikey Whipwreck.
Muster up that shit and go get that title.
Yeah.
Oops.
What? Goddamn ECW.
It's a swerve, bro.
I'm going for that ECW title. The debuting Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is he debuting?
It's his in-ring debut.
Okay, he had been cutting promos, right? As Steve Mania.
Promos and doing promos and vignettes as he's superstar Steve Austin.
Okay.
Here.
So Stone Cold beats up Sandman, and he's walking to the ring, and how ironic that Stone Cold will later on go on to use the beer drinking gimmick as his gimmick to get super over and become the biggest fucking wrestler of all time when Sandman was doing it here, and he gets to beat him up on the way out.
That promo he cut in the ring was very Stone Cold-ish, though.
Yeah. These are the steps of Stone Cold, and he'll jump to WCW, right?
No, he just came from WCW.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, he'll jump to WWF.
This is when he jumps to W.
Because he mentions Bischoff. Yeah.
Yeah, he got fired. He got hurt. He got fired. He was sitting at home. Paulie called him. Yep. Paulie called him, told him to come up and do some promos and shit while he healed up, make a little money.
Yeah, so we get to see the birthing of the Stone Cold character. He'll go on to be the ringmaster, and then Chili Willy. Isn't that what they wanted to give him instead of Stone Cold?
No, Chili Willy was a guy in ECW. They were gonna call him Ice Dagger.
Okay, so something weird with having to do with ice or cold.
Yeah, Ice Dagger or something like that. He was gonna be like a fucking dog sled rider.
Yeah, something dumb. But he gets beat here very fast by Mikey Whipwreck. A quick roll up in under 5 minutes. So, not a lot of offense. This is when this is before Austin had changed his style, before he got too old, and before they broke his neck. So go check that out. Whipwreck pulls
Yeah, he
the
hits his
tights.
he hits his old finisher, the stun
Yeah.
gun on Sandman
Mm-hmm.
on the rail. I remember the stun gun. Hollywood Blondes, baby.
Yep. They actually released a Hollywood Blondes fig with, I think it's the television title of Austin. I need to get it. It's on Ringside Collectibles right now.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on Ringside, and I think maybe on the Major Wrestling Figure podcast.
Yeah, I think they did an unboxing for him. Stunning Steve.
Oh no, that was for the. I think that was for the Hollywood Blondes set.
Did they? I know they have a Brian Pillman Elite that I never picked up. I wish I had.
Maybe it was just the Stunning Steve. I thought for some reason it was the Hollywood Blonde.
They might have done
like
a basic two pack set. They do that sometimes. They'll release 2 packs. I don't buy the basics because they don't have that as much articulation.
Right.
Yeah, but so Whipwreck wins by pulling Austin's tights and getting the 3 count and getting out of there. He was getting beat up. Austin was taking advantage of him.
Poor Mikey.
Yeah, poor Mikey. But he walks away with his title. And they were trying to boost up not trying to, but they're putting their title up there in the ranks of the other world titles. So they're saying Austin had been to WCW, had won their television title, had won their United States title, and had won their tag team title. But the only title that had evaded him was a world title, and that he was trying to get Whipwreck's world title. So they're putting it on the same level, and they have to. It's their fucking company. It's their company's top championship.
Yeah, it's the belt. You got to put it over.
Yeah. Austin doesn't get it done. Whipwreck wins and leaves beat up. Next match after this, which we forgot to mention earlier on, Paulie Dangerous came out and just mentioned, or just told the guys to turn off the lights, and then Sabu came out. They shook hands, and then he promised the crowd that they were going to get Sabu.
And they did.
Yep.
Sabu versus Hack Meyer.
Yeah.
The Shaw of ECW.
Mm-hmm. These next 2 matches kind of are the epitome of ECW in terms of how hardcore they get. And
yep.
I think they did it right by gradually building from this match to the next, because the next match is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
This one, it's Sabu. It's classic Sabu. He incorporates his chair moves, the leg drop off the top rope. I forget the names of them.
Arabian Facebuster.
Mm-hmm. He does his, the reverse Hurricanrana thing that he does off the top rope. He does a lot of his Sabu moves on Hack Myers. I'm not sure who Hack Myers, and maybe you could fill me in a little bit more on Hack Myers.
Hack was just like indie journeyman guy who became over because of the ECW crowd.
Okay, because he was just a big dude here that maybe was kind of hardcore. I'm guessing from what I see.
Yeah, sort of. He was just like a long-standing ECW guy.
Yeah.
And the ECW crowd, you didn't always have to be the best guy to get over just sometimes just certain shit. And so the crowd always got behind him when he would punch. They would scream out Shaw, Shaw, Shaw.
And if you ever ask yourself, how gimmicked were these items? The tables and all this and all this. Hack Myers goes to the crowd to grab a chair and literally comes away with someone's jacket. A regular chair that they're using to sit on, which has to be a real chair, he grabs it and hits Sabu with it. And the chair stays on it. Or the jacket stays on it through the remainder of the match. Some guy lost his jacket.
People used to just bring shit to the arena, like during the Public Enemy match. At one point, Johnny Grunge hits Sandman. He's hitting him with a frying pan. Somebody brought that to the match. and handed that out to them. That there's one time somebody had a cheese grater, like the old school big block
Axel Ron
cheese
had to be in
grater.
that match. I think, especially
Tommy, I remember
Tommy. Okay,
Tommy. I think it was Tommy.
because I know Axelron did the whole barbed wire thing on his fucking.
Yeah.
He's got the lines of the fucking barbed wire on his fucking forearm
Oh yeah.
where it
I
just
mean,
dug
he's
in.
been in play. Well, they said he used to have the barbed wire baseball bat.
Okay, yep.
That was Axel's thing. Was the bar him and his kayfabe brother Ian, the Rottens. That was their thing. Was the barbed wire baseball bat. And then Ian went on to start IWA Mid South in Indiana, where like a lot of guys in the Punk Daniel Bryan era got some of their starts.
I I went to a show that had like 3 rings that were different elevations. It was Windy City Pro Wrestling. I went to a couple of different shows of those, and
Yeah, I've heard of Windy City Pro Wrestling.
yeah, one was in Indiana, one was in Wisconsin, somewhere in Illinois. I went to a couple of them with my cousins. I know even one was
Colt
on
used to
TV.
do work for them.
Who?
Colt Cabana.
Oh, okay, okay.
I remember when I used to listen to the Art of Wrestling a lot. He used to plug
Hmm.
Windy City Pro Wrestling events that he was appearing at and shit.
Nice. I remember one
Yeah.
RVD was at one of them. It was pretty badass. We got to fucking see him after the show. He was in the main lobby entrance. He went and was there after he was the last match. He was all sweaty and shit. It was nasty. We're like, ugh. Like, yeah, yeah. No thanks. I'm out of here. Yeah, no, like I said, classic Sabu. All the chair spots, flips over, does not a tope, does a swanton onto Hack Myers onto a table. You get your classic Sabu spots with chairs, tables, whatever. They just don't overdo it. They're not in the crowd. They're not backstage. They're not. They keep it simple, as simple as you can with a hardcore match.
Right, right. As simple as you can for a Sabu match.
Mm-hmm. And he hits his the face crusher, I think, to win. I think that's
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
was.
The Arabian Face Buster.
Yeah, he does that, and he pins Hack Myers. Gets the 3 count. They get 12 minutes and 55 seconds in awesome Sabu match. I think it could have been better, but I think maybe they just threw in Hack Myers because um, it was going to be a job for
They
Sabu. There's
they
no
needed
story
somebody
behind. Yeah,
to work with Sabu.
yeah.
Nah. And Hackmeyer's style doesn't really play up with Sabu too well either. So, but yeah, it was a Sabu match.
Mm-hmm. Next match after this, and you can tell how much more of a fan attractions they knew they were because they had 2 non-title matches after a world heavyweight title match.
Right.
They have Terry Funk with Tommy Dreamer tagging against Raven and Bang Bang Cactus Jack.
I believe this is Cactus Jack on towards the end of his run too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we definitely start getting Mankind soon. Definitely 96.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
What can I say about this match? Well, like I said, Sabu and Hack Myers had their hardcore match, but they didn't overdo it, and I think it was perfect to lead into this match that did everything and anything possible. Cactus Jack was stabbing at Terry Funk's arm at one point. Raven was covered bloody. His head was covered in barbed wire. They fought all over the arena. Tommy Dreamer was cut open. I think everyone was cut open probably by the end.
Yeah, Dreamer hit Raven with a VCR.
Yeah, there was a trash can full of stuff, and like in the ring was a mess. Like we talked about how dirty and messy it was. Yeah, it gets even worse, like 10 times worse because now there's items scattered everywhere. Pans, metal objects that Terry Funk is hitting Cactus with. He's hitting Raven with. It's ridiculous. It's ECW to the max. It's what the fans wanted. It's what put them apart. Like it just wasn't like a regular hardcore match what Sabu and Myers had, which wasn't a regular hardcore match by any sense because it was Sabu doing his arsenal of moves. But by regular, I meant chair and table. This one, literally, they threw everything in the kitchen sink.
Mm.
It was ridiculous. Literal stabbing from Cactus Jack to Terry Funk in the arm. Like,
with a fork.
yeah, he didn't get it the first time and goes back at it, and then you see it start gushing. He's like, all right, I got it. Can move on from this spot now.
Oh, Cactus, you didn't get my arm bleeding.
Fucking shit, man. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
ECW.
ECW. 13 and a half minutes of just complete and utter violence.
Mayhem.
Stevie Ray comes out and he's showing his support for Raven. He's part of Raven's flock, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Stevie's always been attached to Raven's hip. Whether it's in ECW, WWE, fucking WCW, he's always been with Raven for one reason or another.
You know what was fucking awesome that I forgot to mention that I'm glad I didn't brush over? And you're right, this is towards the end of Cactus's run. Cactus has Kamala. He has yes, no, the Zodiac, and he has
he has the Dungeon of Doom shirt on. Yeah, the Dungeon of Doom, and then he has an Eric Bischoff shirt.
Yeah, and he has a heart over, and it says Dungeon of Doom in the back, and he has an Eric Bischoff shirt under. And it's a whole story of him kind of just leaving or him saying that that company's better. Does he go to join the Dungeon of Doom? No, right?
No, he came to ECW from WCW.
Okay, yeah,
he got fired because they said he wasn't good enough, and then so he's ribbing at the Dungeon of Doom, saying like these guys are good enough to be wrestling Hulk Hogan and main eventing with Hulk Hogan and doing whatever, but I wasn't. Like, come on.
Yeah, he's got a fucking point. Especially this character
for sure.
Of Cactus Jack. It's super believable. It's not that Mankind wasn't, but Mankind was definitely a character. This Cactus Jack he is hardcore, but he's more believable than a Mankind if you had to put them side by side.
Cactus Jack in WCW was great.
Mm-hmm.
His work with Vader.
I think me and Ryan just covered him and Vader in 90, I think.
Yeah, there's an episode of WCW Saturday Night where I think he gets power bombed on the bare floor or whatever, and it kicks off this whole storyline of him like having amnesia and not remembering who he was and shit like that. It goes on for a while. It was a really good fucking angle.
Earlier, I guess Cactus Jack, and I guess before his Mankind and Dude Love, I guess it's Cactus Jack, but he had great storylines. His whole not hardcore thing with Whipwreck, it was, right?
Yep.
And he was tag team champion with them, right? And he turned on him, and then he became the non-hardcore guy.
Yeah.
I need to go back and watch that because
he had turned on Mikey.
He has some good storylines, like this one right here, like the ECW thing. It's awesome. It's like how he's incorporating into that.
There's some great promos that he cut too back that they used to show on the hardcore TV. That kind of what got Jim Ross's attention already had on Mick Foley from working with him in WCW, but yeah, his promos there were the same thing that kind of helped Austin get him signed.
In '98, when he's facing The Rock, he's like, "I guess I got a big rock to climb." Like in one of his promos, I remember that one. That's kind of clever. Pretty sure that was him too.
I'm sure.
Man, Mick Foley is so underrated. People need to go back and watch his career. I'm gonna go back and pay a lot more attention to it. Earlier on, like his Mick Foley or his Mankind characters, yeah, it is awesome. But I need to go back and watch this pay a lot more attention to the storylines he had going on as Cactus Jack in WCW and here in ECW.
Yeah, for sure. WCW, like I said, they fucked up. They had something good with Cactus Jack, and them getting rid of him to bring in Hogan's buddies was the best thing that could have happened to Mick, because he got to develop the character more here in ECW, and then go on and be successful as fuck in the WWE.
That won't put butt in the seats.
Poor Schiavone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else more I can say about this match besides it was just pure chaos, pure ECW.
It was a shit show.
Yeah. It was a tag
It
match
was
with
a
no
shit
tag.
show.
No one. Well, you don't have to tag because it's a 4-way. It's a 4 corners
It was
match.
it was a fucking tornado tag match.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
Buckets, shovels, paint objects. It's ridiculous.
VCRs, yeah. ECW, man.
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's definitely a raw.
Yeah.
It's a different and raw presentation of pro wrestling, and you can see why it was popular back then. It had his niche fan base.
Fuck yeah. I mean, so it was like somewhere, it was after this, maybe it was around this period of time, like when I first discovered ECW, but obviously wasn't watching pay-per-views, and it was only sporadic because it was coming on at Saturday night at like 1 or 2 in the morning before I started like taping it religiously and stuff. But I was 11, 12, 13 at this time. 12, I think I just turned 12.
Mm-hmm.
So like discovering this shit when you're 12 years old, my fucking mind was blown.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because I grew up watching WCW and WWE since early 90. And then all of a sudden there's this, well, what the fuck is this? Extreme.
Yeah, no, it definitely was extreme. And especially in the 90s where they were trying to put extreme and everything. This was extreme wrestling.
Yeah. This was that thing where, people may have thought WCW was and WWE that was fake, but ECW, it might have been real.
Well, yeah, look at the blood. That's why.
Right.
That's why Bruce was super pissed about the blading when they were giving out He's like, you can give away secrets about bumps and like that are matches or whatever. He's like, but the fans believe the blood, and he's like, when you gave away the fucking secret of the blood, a lot less people believed at that point because a lot of people believe blood sells.
Now you can't blade at all in WCW or WWE.
Nope. It's got to be for
real. The boss will fine you.
Yeah. No good with the blood.
No bueno.
Lot
of blood over in the other station.
Yeah, they're bleeding a lot. There's a lot of blood on the pay-per-view, wasn't there? They saved it for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, a lot of blood on the pay-per-view.
A lot of biting, a lot of barbed wire.
Sammy bled enough for everybody in the Elite Deletion match. He got the back of his head busted open going through a table and hitting it on the concrete. Yeah, but then the match with Mox and Kingston was pretty bloody.
All right, Jeff. That was the end of the pay-per-view. I want to thank you for helping me out and breaking down this pay-per-view.
Anytime, brother. Thanks for having me on, man.
No problem. We got to do this more often. I'll see when we can do this again. And probably do another ECW, or we could switch it up to you.
Dude, I'm down to talk whatever. We can talk any brand.
Yeah, I'm just trying to put out content whenever I can. So we could talk wrestling. Like I said, we usually do ECW, so we can do whatever we want if we want, or stick to the ECW. We'll see. Thank you, Jeff. You want to say anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, it's good to be back. I don't have anything to plug anymore, really. So,
Uh, please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Uh, Mondays, usually me and Ryan are breaking down wrestling or watching wrestling. So go ahead and subscribe for weekly Monday episodes of pro wrestling. Weekly Thursday episodes of Football on Full Heel. That's my buddy Frankie and his buddies breaking down football, soccer, La Liga, Liga MX, Bundesliga, all that good stuff. Champions League, Europa Cup. They talk it all. So go ahead and subscribe for Thursday episodes of that. And Saturdays, we have our fight companions. Me and my buddies breaking down the UFC fights or boxing. Usually any fights that are going on. We watch them, break them down, give you our thoughts on them. And we would like to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments, smash that like button, and hit that subscribe button. Really helps out the show. Once again, thanks, Jeff. And
Rafa,
yeah.
I do want to remind the Full Heel Podcast Nation of one thing. Ryan didn't even watch WCW.
We called him out on that, remember?
Yeah.
We caught him. I even called him out on that. He was trying
breaking down shit he didn't even watch. Yeah. He doesn't even know.
Trying to call the demise of it.
I had to slip that in. Love you, Ryan.
Love you, Ryan. Love you, Jeff. And
love you too, brother.
I love all you guys. And I'll see you guys next time on the Full Heel Podcast.